Hi, this is Dave Palmer, St. Thomas Aquinas for everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here on YouTube for these lessons on the Summa Theologia. I really want to begin by, first of all, encouraging you to stick with the study of the Summa. I promise you, if you stick with these lessons, and you continue to learn from the great master, St. Thomas Aquinas, it is going to change your life. This is what happened to me. When I started reading the Summa, I really realized that far from being complex or complicated or, too difficult to understand, there is a simplicity about St. Thomas Aquinas that is really attractive. And I could tell you a lot of stories and reasons why I continue to study the Summa, but I encourage you to please stick with it. Watch these videos. I got a message from a gentleman just today saying he's watched all the videos. So if this is the first one that you've watched, go back and watch the other ones. Do a binge watch on the Summa, okay? Because I promise you, I hear it all the time. I teach this to high school kids. And time and time again, they tell me learning the Summa, learning St. Thomas Aquinas changed the way I see the world, okay? I promise you it'll change the way you see the world, not because of Thomas, not because of me, but because the Holy Spirit worked through this great doctor, Thomas Aquinas, and he is a great master. All right, so stick with it, okay? And also stick with these videos. Don't just watch like a minute or two, watch the whole thing. I'm going to try to keep this one as short as possible, although we're covering a lot of ground here. We're talking about the passions, and I'm packing all of the irascible passions into one video, okay? This one might be a little bit longer, but hang with me, okay? And stick with me because it's going to be a blast, all right? We're going to talk about all of the irascible passions in this one video. And I'll go as quickly as possible, but I don't want to talk so fast that you get lost. Hope. Is it the same as desire or cupidity? What exactly is hope? And I just want to let you know that we're not talking about the theological virtue of hope here. We're talking about the passion, okay? The irascible passion of hope, okay? I showed the example before of somebody buying a lottery ticket. Okay, that's hope. That's the passion of hope. Okay, that's not the theological virtue of hope. All right, so here it is. Let's get right into it. And I'm going to teach you this by telling you a story of, it's not true, but I just made this up. This young man here in the bottom left, okay, he hopes for, well, he desires a lot of things, okay? He desires a great breakfast. He desires to have good parents, and that's shown there in the top right. He desires to be a priest one day, okay? And he desires to fly. Okay, that's kind of crazy, but let's just, and wouldn't it be nice to fly? Wouldn't it be kind of cool to be able to fly? So let's just say these are all things that he kind of hopes for. Which of these are genuinely able to be hoped for? Only one of them, okay? And I'm going to explain why. Okay, isn't that kind of interesting? Only one of these, you can desire any of them, but only one can be hoped for, and this is the reason why. All right, okay, Thomas says, okay, the species of a passion is taken from the object. Now, in the object of hope, we may note four conditions. Okay, these are the four conditions of hope. First, that it is something good. Okay, I'm going to highlight that. Something good. So is breakfast good? Are parents good? Is being a priest good? Is flying good? Yes, 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 yes. They're all good. Okay, so far, they're all great. Since properly speaking, hope regards only the good. In this respect, hope differs from fear, which regards evil. We'll talk more about that in a second. Secondly, it must be in the future, okay? For hope does not regard that which is present and already possessed. In this respect, hope differs from joy, which regards the present good, okay? So we got to eliminate parents, okay? Because his parents are not future, he has them right now. Okay, so I'm sorry, the parents had to go because he can have joy in his parents, but he can't have hope because he already has them, right? All right, thirdly, that it must be something arduous and difficult to obtain, for we do not speak of anything hoping for trifles which are in one's power to have at any time, okay? So which one do you think has to go? Breakfast has to go. Breakfast is not arduous. I mean, for some people in the world it is, but for most of us, if we want breakfast, we can have it, and it's not like we were hoping that there'll be breakfast on the table, although not to take it for granted, but sorry, it had to go. In this respect, hope differs from desire or cupidity, which regards the future good absolutely. Okay, we're down to only two here. Wherefore it belongs to the concupiscible, while hope belongs to the irascible faculty. Okay, it's not something that's right there be in front of us. Fourthly, that this difficult thing is something possible to obtain. Hope must be possible to obtain, for one does not hope for that which one cannot get at all. And in this respect, hope differs from despair. Okay, so which of these has to go? Flying. This guy is not going to be flying. I'm sorry. So the only thing that he can genuinely hope for among those four is to be a priest. Okay, because it's good, it's future, it's something arduous, to obtain, and it is possible. Okay, isn't that interesting? All right, despair. Is it contrary to hope? Okay, the opposite of hope is despair. Who's kind of the poster boy of despair? I would say it's Judas, who turned Jesus in and then went off and hanged himself, right? He had a lot of despair. Okay, and then here's just kind of a generic picture of a lady that is despairing. I'll tell you in a second why she's despairing, of course, in my little fictitious made-up story. But here's Thomas's explanation. There is a twofold contrariety of movements. One is in respect of approach to contrary terms, and this contrariety alone is to be found in the concupiscible passions. Okay, that's something that's right there in front of us that we either want or we don't. A banana split, a snake, right? For instance, between love and hatred. Okay, the other is according to approach and withdrawal with regard to the same term, and this is to be found in the irascible passions. That's what we're talking about in this video. Now, the object of hope, which is the arduous good that we just talked about, has the character of a principle of attraction if it be considered in the light of something attainable. And thus hope tends thereto, for it denotes a kind of approach. But insofar as it is considered as unobtainable, remember flying, it has the character of a principle of repulsion. And this is how despair stands in regard to this object, because wherefore it implies a movement of withdrawal, and consequently it is contrary to hope as withdrawal is to approach. Okay, so it's not possible. So here's the lady we showed. She's despairing, and why is she in my little made-up story here? It's because she has fallen in love with a man that she wants to marry, and it's this guy. Okay, the problem is that he's married, and he's happily married, and thanks be to God, he loves his wife, he's faithful to his wife, and he isn't going to go and marry somebody else. Okay, so this woman, because she realizes she can't marry the person that she loves, she could fall into despair. But then, of course, God help her, she can go find some other guy, right? Okay, so that's how that works. All right, let's move along. We continue with these irascible passions, whether the object of fear is good or evil. Okay, the things that we fear, and I think about 8 of them that I'm going to put up here. What are the biggest fears that people have in the world right now? Think about it. They do these studies. So, what do people fear the most? Typically, number 1 is public speaking. Okay, people are very afraid of public speaking. That's my son trying to get into the room, but I have the door locked, and so he can't get in. Okay, so, buddy, I'll be with you in just a moment. Okay, public speaking. What about claustrophobia? That's one of my biggest fears. I hate being in closed spaces like this. Heights, okay? A lot of people have fears of heights. Snakes, okay? Snakes. I love snakes. I'm not afraid of snakes, but a lot of people are. What about going to the dentist? A lot of people are very scared and freaked out by going to the dentist, or spiders. And I think this one actually may be a venomous spider, so good reason to be afraid of it. The dark, or spooky, scary nights, and also bad weather, lightning, okay? These are just some of the things that people might be afraid of, okay? Are you afraid of any of those? Fear is a movement of the appetitive power. Okay, is the object of fear good or evil? Okay, Thomas is going to say both in a way, right? Fear is a movement of the appetitive power. Now it belongs to the appetitive power to pursue and avoid evil, and pursuit is of good, while avoidance is of evil. Consequently, whatever movement of the appetitive power implies pursuit has some good for its object, and whatever movement implies avoidance, like the snakes, like the spiders, I could have put clowns up there because a lot of people are freaked out by clowns. Whatever movement implies avoidance has the object of evil for its object. Wherefore, since fear implies an avoidance in the first place, and of its very nature, it regards evil as its proper object. But remember, Thomas would also say that all these things have being, so these are all good. Okay, now, except for maybe claustrophobia. That's kind of creepy. But snakes are good, dentists are good. Lightning is good, right? Okay, it can, however, regard good also, insofar as referable to evil. This can be in 2 ways. In one way, inasmuch as an evil causes privation of good. Now, a thing is evil from the very fact that it is a privation of good. Okay, we fear heights because we want to be at ground level. We fear dark nights because we want it to be light. we fear bad weather because we like good weather. Okay, you get the idea, right? Wherefore, since evil is shunned because it is evil, it follows that it is shunned because it deprives one of the good that one pursues through love thereof. And in this sense, Augustine says that there is no cause for fear save loss of the good that we love. Okay, so the object of fear could be good, it could be evil. Does that make sense? Are you still watching this video? If you still are, God bless you for hanging in. Keep with it, okay? The Summa is worth it. It really is life-changing to learn from this master. Okay, daring. Is it contrary to fear? What is daring? People do crazy, daring stuff like climb the sides of mountains, the crazy stuff. Okay, they jump off cliffs. They skydive. I've done this once. I did a tandem jump one time. Probably the only time I'm ever going to do it. They go to scary movies. Okay, I'm not a big scary movie fan, but people do that stuff. Why do we do this? Why do we scare ourselves? Why do we do daring things? Okay, it is the essence of contraries to be farthest removed from one another. This is really interesting. Aristotle says that which is farthest removed from fear is daring. Okay, since fear turns away from the future hurt on account of its victory over him that fears it, whereas daring turns on threatened danger because of its own victory over some danger. So you're afraid of heights, you go up to heights. You're afraid of cliffs and height, you go and you do it. You run towards an evil. Isn't that interesting? That's why we do that. Why do we want to scare ourselves with scary movies? It's almost like we want to confront it. We want to, control the evil, right? So what do? We run towards it. Consequently, it is evident that daring is contrary to fear. Okay, this is the last one. Anger. Anger is the irascible passion that doesn't have an opposite. Remember that? How does anger differ from hatred? Here it is. There's a lady screaming at a cop. Okay, I don't know what's in her heart, but she appears to have some hatred. She appears to have some issues. Here's a mother disciplining her child. I trust mothers don't hate their kids. They discipline them because they love them. Our own Lord Jesus got angry in the temple, right? And he didn't hate the money changers, but he was angry. Okay, so here's the difference. The species and nature of a passion are taken from its object. Now, the object of anger is the same in substance as the object of hatred, since, just as the hater wishes evil to him whom he hates, so does the angry man wish evil to him with whom he is angry. That sounds kind of weird, but there's this difference of aspect. The hater wishes evil on his enemy as evil, whereas the angry man wishes evil to him with whom he is angry, not as evil insofar as it has an aspect of, well, not as evil, but insofar it has an aspect of good. That is, insofar as he reckons it as just. Okay, the parent disciplines the kid because they love the child. Jesus got angry in the temple because he loved all those people. Okay, hatred implies application of evil to evil, whereas anger denotes application of good to evil. Now it is evident that to seek evil under the aspect of justice is a lesser evil, okay, than simply to seek evil to somebody. Because to wish evil to somebody under the aspect of justice may be according to the justice of virtue. Okay, so anger can actually be a good thing. Okay, vengeance can be a good thing according to St. Thomas Aquinas, if it be in conformity with the order of reason. Okay, and anger falls only in this, that it does not obey the precept of reason in taking vengeance. Okay, consequently, it is evident that hatred is far worse and graver than anger. Okay, so as long as this mother is disciplining justly and isn't being crazy in her discipline and loves that little boy, that's a good thing. Okay, that could be good, justified anger. We know Jesus had no sin, so his anger was good. The lady with the cop, I'm not sure. Okay, I can't speak for her, but if you hate the one that you're angry at, then that's a sin. Okay, just saying. All right, this is the end of the Passions. I hope you're enjoying this. Thank you so much for watching, learning the Summa. Let me know what you think. Ask questions. Let's start a little bit of dialogue back and forth about the Summa. And we're almost halfway through. We're about 40% through the Summa. Okay, so stick with it. Stick with it. Don't quit. All right. Okay, that's going to do it. I hope you stuck with me. I hope you watched the whole video. Dave Palmer, St. Thomas Aquinas, for everyone. God bless you. We'll see you in the next video.